Have you noticed how more relaxed the impala are, or even just the animals in general are around water here in the sands compared to the behavior around water in Kenya? And that's of course because a lot of the watering holes and river systems are filled with crocodiles. And I think they know that here the presence of crocodiles is not sort of too prominent. We see them obviously at Chitwa Dam, and even then the animals don't seem to be too nervous. And I think that's just because the crocodiles are mainly feeding on fish, big barbel. They must be easier to catch. Perhaps they use less energy when they're trying to go for them. Right, I'm just checking around here to see if we can find the things with a K. Kudu? Where are you, Kudu? That would be an easy one. Maybe we'll find some around this side. We'll go all the way down central. This seems to be a good road to spot kudu. Oh, Aussie Bogan, or Mr. Aussie Bogan, you've said a clip springer for, well, to fulfill the animal with a K. Unfortunately, I think the chances of us seeing a clip springer, are very, very slim. We don't really have any rocky areas, and that's their habitat that they prefer. They've got specially designed feet that allow them to hop from rock to rock without slipping. It's actually quite impressive to watch clip springers zoot up and down sort of granite boulders. It's really amazing. Okay, what are we looking for? Kudu. Kudu, kudu, kudu. What else could we potentially see with a K? Kingfisher. And of course, watch, kudu are going to be the hardest thing to find today. Normally, they're around every single shrub. We're getting there. Tristan's going to have to do some catching up too. He's a little bit on the far side. What about hurricane thrush? If we found one of those, we could do that too. I don't know why I'm looking in the trees for a kudu. Oh, kingfisher. Okay, nothing here just yet. Craig, have you got your eyes open? You're trying to spot that kudu. Even if it's far away, even if we just get the tip of its ear, it counts. We'll go down into this little dip here. See any trees that start with a K? No, nothing around here. Whee. See, I'm listening out for that the brown-hooded kingfisher, because I like it in these areas. So if I can hear it, then it'll give me a chance to also spot it. So that's why I'm just going quiet every now and then. Because the challenge is now on. I've never done an alphabet animal plant challenge, and bird challenge. There's a different one for me. Oh, come on, kudu. This is ridiculous. Normally we would have seen 30 of you by now if I wasn't trying to find you. Craig, have you thought of anything with a K yet? No. Craig's stumped. Oh. Dinga, you say Corey busted? Don't think we'll see one here. But you can. I'm not saying that you can't see them, but I have yet to see a Corey busted in the sands just yet, and I've been here for 2 years now. Just no, even longer than that. So I'm not too sure if we'll see a Corey busted, but a good one though. Definitely. If we went into Kruger, maybe. Went to the Mapungubwe National Park, definitely. We would have seen 20 of them by now. I cannot believe we have not seen one kudu yet. That is outstanding. Sierra, there we go, a korhaan. We might see a red-crested korhaan, that's for sure. That's a good one. So thank you for that, Sierra. We'll keep an eye. We'll see if I can hear them, because they have been calling at the moment. Let's quickly go down Vulture's Nest, because Vulture's Nest is also a good road for Nyala and kudu. It's nice and thick around here, and as we know, the members of the three common members of the Trachylaphid family over here, they prefer to feed in the denser vegetation. So this would be a very good spot. Megan, I'm sure you thought I would have found a kudu by now, hey? Right. Ah, Barbara, you beauty. You've said a knobthorn. Yes, We can find one of those. Look, there's so many of them too. There's one. There's a big one. Both of those are knob thorns, so big trees over there. Thank you, Barbara. I'm rolling now. Sorry, Craig. I didn't put the car in gear. So there we go. Now we can move on from that one because that one seemed to be stumping us. But we'll keep our eyes open for kudu's and kingfishers and korhans and the rest of the animals that start with K's. But that indeed is a knobthorn. We could have even done for acacia as well. Acacia nigrescens. That's another one. We started off with something like that. Now we need to start searching for the next letter. I'm not sure where Tristan is. I think he was struggling to find something with an X. Will he find a xylophone out in the bush? I'm not so sure. Let's go and find out.
Well, if we found a xylophone, I'd be a bit worried as to where it's come from and who put it here. But I do know of an X, and I'm trying to find one. And of course, now that I look for them, I can't find them. They are all over the place. And it is Zero Fighter. Now, Zero Fighter, well, there's our yellow-billed hornbill. So let's use those to get the real one, so we can actually get onto a proper X, because there's our yellow-billed hornbills. Hello, guys. They're just rooting around for insects and varying other things as they do. Always love when they're on the ground. They look so comical when they jump around. They've got this little hop to them and this bounce. And you can see they've found, obviously, some sort of good food source there. Very nice. Alright, you guys, lead us to the X. Now, Zero Fighter, for those of you who don't know what that is a baboon's tail. It's a plant. So, I'm going to try and see if I can't find one. There are quite a few around, but I, of course, now trying to rack my brain to sort of work out where exactly I last saw one is proving to be a little bit more difficult. So, I am going to try and see if I can't quickly find one of those. Other than that, there's very few. I've been racking my brains for scientific names of animals and other plants. There's Xanthocerces, which is also another plant, but we don't get any of those here. Those are nyala berries, so none of them. Then, like I said, the flaky bark has also got an X for a scientific name. Whereabouts? Black-headed oriole. Let's see if we can get this one, Seb. Hopefully it won't fly, because it's perched quite nicely now. Now, I know this isn't... Oh, no. No, there we go. I know this isn't part of our alphabet challenge, but it is... it's that Y-shaped branch. You got him. There we go. But there's our black-headed oriole, which is a beautiful bird. Now, this is the male. Look at those bright yellows with that black head, and you can see where it gets its name from. And it's got to be one of the favorite calls of this bird. It's got a liquid, bubbly call. It sounds very exotic, and I always love hearing them. It reminds me of sort of being in camps in the Kruger Park. I don't know why. And I'll try to find their call for you now, quickly. There we go. So that's the call that they make, and this is a very shortened version of it. They have this a lot more bubbly little part to it, and nice to see because they're quite difficult to actually get on camera. I often struggle to find them, so that would have been a good one for O, but anyway. So Sassy, you say you love those birds. I know they are very pretty, aren't they? They're one of my favorites that we see out here as well. Now, I'm trying to see, what are those there? Are those Rhett's helmet shrikes? Let's just quickly go back. Hopefully they're going to stay on the branch. There's a whole bunch of little black birds that are hopping about. And I think they are Rhett's helmet shrikes, which is another of the birds that we don't see that often out here. So in the marula at the back there, yep, Rhett's helmet shrikes. So you'll see little black birds bouncing around in that tree. Oh, it's difficult because, there we go, there it is. So black with a little white edge to the wing, and then red eye as well. So there's another beautiful bird. Now I know I'm straying from our alphabet challenge, but both of these birds are not ones we get on camera very often, so it's why we've stopped just to have a little look at them, and I won't count them until we try and get our Z. But very cool to see, and generally in small flocks, and I'm quite surprised to see them here. You normally find them closer towards drainage sections or riverbeds. They like those big tall trees, so I'm surprised we're seeing them quite far from any of our big drainage lines. Very interesting. Right, onward and forward we go. Baboon tail, where are you? So Karen, you say I must look for steenboks and for terrapins, because both of them have Shangaan names that start with an X, and you're quite right. A terrapin is a shigamba, and then a steenbok is a spene. So we'll try and see if we can't find either one of those. This is a good place for steenbok along the fire break here. Terrapin, not so much. We'll have to go towards a water source, so I'll have to try and head to maybe Treehouse Dam for a terrapin. So we'll quickly shoot up there, because Treehouse Dam is actually not too far from where we are. So we'll quickly make our way up that way. But I feel like we've had some of the harder ones this side, and once we get past this and we get towards the normal letters, I'm sure we can find things quite fast. So I'll have to do that to catch up with Taylor, because Taylor's almost halfway now, and she's going to give us a thorough thrashing if we do not get past this X quite quickly. Right, here we go. Let's get on to this road, and then we'll be going. Does it count if we're on Shabamu Road? That's also with an X. So we found Shabamu Road, which is easy enough. So Megs, you say, you're the referee, so you have to tell us, Megs, is Shabamu Road count or not? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, so it does count. So I found Shabamu Road. Of course, once I've found Shabamu, I'll probably find all these X's all over the place. But we'll still make our way towards Treehouse. W we've already done. We said the water monitor will be W. Also, we've seen waterbuck and a wildebeest, which we didn't show because we had gremlins on the board. But they're also a part of our W, so we found quite a few of them. But we need to show you guys those things for it to count. So what's next after that? V is what we next on to. So V, and then after that will be U. Oh, jeez, it doesn't get any easier, does it? Now, we would love to show you Vlad, but I was down at Chitwa Dam already, and I can't get signal there. I was trying to find signal, but the gremlins are sort of battering Wendy, and it's so strange because yesterday we had signal there, no problem. So that's a bit of an issue, but I'm going to try and just see if I can't. Ooh, V. Come on, think. It's amazing when you're under sort of pressure where you can't really think about them. Velvet Monkey, that would be a good one. Velvet Bush Willow, Verose Eagle Owl, Verose Eagle, Violet-eared Waxbill. Sure. Mario, you say vulture. Well, that's a good one, but I don't know where I'm going to find a vulture now, because I found vultures earlier, but it's not like they're that common, particularly now that the sun's up. They might be flying already. I know one more place that I can go and check for a vulture. Vutomi would be a nice one. I think that one would be quite popular. Nancy, Vuatella Lodge, yes, that would also be an easier one to find. But I think we've got to keep it natural, otherwise Taylor's going to shout at me after I gave her trouble about the sun. So let's see if we can't find our terrapin, so we've got a natural X quickly. Oh, there's Impala, which is not anywhere near the alphabet that we're in. Okay, now lots of terrapins here, so that can be our X's quickly. What else have we got here that I can use? V. Oh, I've got to think about this now. Just trying to think what I can use for V. It also doesn't help that we don't have any of our flowering plants at this time of the year, because they would be quite helpful as well. I know violets, African violets would be a nice one for V, but they're not going to be flowering at this time. But there's our little shagamba. There's our little shagamba or our terrapin. So that's there. No vultures that I can see. Alright. Seb, let's try and see. I know where there is an African violet. Next. Siola, you say village weaver. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one too, because they're not nesting at the moment, so finding them near water is going to be quite tough. We can try though, but I don't think so. Seems like Taylor is just going crazy. And look, I told you, once we find an X, we'll find them all together. There's our baboon's tail right there, so there's another X over there. So we've now found our baboon tail too. And I thought I remember them being one of them being around here somewhere. So that's kind of sorted that out. So we definitely have ticked off X properly. So Zero Fighter is the name for that. And they can be used as pot scourers for anybody who has got a dirty pot. I shall pick some for you and you can scour pots and get them clean again. They have a very fibrous sort of growth, and that allows it to be quite good for scrubbing. Right, now we're past our baboon, so we baboon tail, should I say, and our X. Let's go across to Taylor McCurdy, who's ticking off another letter, which means the pressure is really on now.
Oh, Tristan, I always put the pressure on. We've got a leadwood tree now. Beautiful with all its many branches. I love these trees. They're really great. Now, I would have obviously preferred to have showed you a leopard or a lion, but we'll take a leadwood tree, and it's a pity that there aren't any monkeys playing in this to go with them. Right, let's carry on. Oh, Megan, what happened there? So funny. Right, Megan was talking to me, but I think she was trying to actually talk to Tristan. Now we're in the Mulwati. That means we can find many different things in here. Obviously, I could have very easily just said marula. There was one marula tree right next to that leadwood tree, but I thought we've maybe done too many trees in a row because we did a knobthorn and then we went straight onto leadwood. So let's try find some monkeys or a monotonous lark. It's a pity they haven't arrived back just yet. Theoretically, M should be an easy one. We can look for a mouse. Actually, I don't know how easy it's going to be to find a mouse. We don't see mice very often out here. Marshall eagle, that would be a great one for an M. Craig, any input from you? Mammals though. Les, you say magpie, shrike, and gaming fox. You've said mongoose. We can always go back to quarantine to complete the area if we can find any monkeys around here, or a monitor lizard. I suppose our list is really, really enders. Right. It seems as though the gremlins are jumping about here, but I'll see what I can do and see if I can find some monkeys here in the Mulwati. Let's go back to Tristan and see how he's going.
Well, not very well, except that we've had some help from X-Ranger. You say V for vegetation. And yes, look at all the vegetation all around us. We have vegetation everywhere. So we'll claim that, because our next one is going to be even tougher. Our next one is now U. So U is going to be really not an easy one. I've thought of umbrella thorn, but I can't remember seeing any umbrella thorns on Djuma. But we'll try and see if I can't find one of those. There's Europlectes, which is a type of scorpion, which I won't find now. That would be for nighttime. What else? Any other suggestions, Seb? You said unicorn, which is about as good chance of finding that as of finding a...
Do you have an impala unicorn somewhere?
We do have an impala unicorn. We do. That's right. We'll have to try and see if we can't find that. What else? Let me look in my bird book if there's any scientific names, because I don't know the birds' scientific names very well. Not that I can see. Let's see here. This is proving to be quite tough. The tail end of the alphabet is not easy, that's for sure. Yes, we've got a few. Let's see what they are. Okay, 270, 254, and 432. 270. Oh, this is actually might be quite promising. Taylor has actually seen one of these already today, so I'll have to try and find that. But our African hoopoe is a upoopa, apparently. Pupa? Pupa? Upoopa. That's it. So there's the scientific name for an African hoopoe. So we'll try to see if we can find one of those. Let's see what other birds we've got here. 254 and 432. 254. Red-faced mouse bird, that's also possible. And 432, blue waxbill. So we can probably find these. Let's try and find a blue waxbill. Of course, now that I want to find them, they're not going to be anywhere to be seen. Treehouse Dam, yes. Oh no, now Taylor's ticking off another one, and she seems as though she's got something with an M, and I suppose she already mentioned it when she was there because she's in the Mulawati River, but we'll go across to her and see what she's managed to find.
Well, actually, Tristan, I mentioned Mulawati probably about 2 segments ago. Ha 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 ha. I forgot all about the moon for M. I think that's good enough. We might still see if we can find some monkeys though, of course. But yes, we have the moon. And we have the next one, N for Inyala. I'm going to go forward just a little bit. Just a little smidgen. Because this Inyala is very hungry at the moment, eating away. He hasn't actually really lifted his head much at all to have a look at us. He's got his head tucked right into some shrub that he's feeding on. What are you eating? It's quite difficult to see what he's feeding on. We're obviously looking at some spike thorns that we can see, but I don't think that's what he's munching on. Something behind that. But anyway, beautiful Inyala bull to complete the N. And he's a lovely fella. He's all on his own though, which is a little bit risky to be on yourself, all on your own like this, especially down in a drainage line. And this is the area that we know in particular leopards like to come through here and hunt about. But not bothered at all. You better keep your ears out and hope that there are some monkeys and other things that will have your back, Inyala, in case something does come creeping under all these shrubs and through this long grass. Right, and what are we on now? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Does anyone else go L-M-N-O-P? Because I remember doing that as a kid. Obviously, L-M-N-O-P is not letters. L-M-N-O. O. Oh. No. I'm being told that I need to stay still. Those pesky gremlins. Right, we're going to start searching for things with O's. I'm going to send you back across to Tristan, and he's got a lot of catching up to do.
We do indeed, but we've got an impala, which is an ungulate, and thank you, Judy H, for that suggestion. So there we go, that's you. Then T, we can tick off quite quickly. There's trees all over the place, so T, we can use trees and multiple different species of trees. There we go. What's after T? S. Will we say S or A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, yes, S. Tamburti. We can use Tamburti because Tamburti's scientific name is with a S. And now Spirostachys africana is your Tamburti. Now R, we can do bush willows. There must be a bush willow close to me here that I can do for red bush willow or russet bush willow. Let's see. Come on, bush willows, where are you? Now, I actually didn't really want to go down this road, but I'm pretty sure I can find a bush willow quite quickly. There we go. There's the bush willows over there. So there are our red bush willows all scattered about in that area in front of us. So those are all red bush willows over there. Nice, beautiful leaves. Okay, what's next after that? M? What's before R? Q. Oh, goodness. Why do we get... This is horrible. Q is not a good one at all, but we'll try and see if we can't find something for Q. A quail? Button quail, maybe? Quelia? Quiver tree, which we don't get here. Quinine tree. What else? Oh, I might have to consult the book for this one. Q. Any suggestions, Megan, for Q? Sure, I don't know. Q is not an easy one. I feel like we got the rougher end of the deal going from back. Nev, use Aquilias. Aquilias would be an easy one if it was a different time of the year. We had them a lot, and also if we could get to Cheetah Plains, so then we'd be able to maybe find some Aquilias. White Lady Un, you say quarantine. Good thinking. I think we might have to head that way for that. Q is not an easy one. Let's consult maybe Bird Book. We'll have a Q for a scientific name of a common bird. Let's see. This one actually might be quite interesting, and we might be able to find it where I am now, although it's not as rocky as I need it to be. But if we find a rocky area, we can find quartz, so that does occur in this area. What else? You can refer to a way that an antelope moves towards you. If it walks in a diagonal direction, it's quartering towards you. What else? Sure. Q. Gotta go now think of all of these sort of scientific names to try and run through Q's, but I can't actually think of any at this stage. Karen, you are suggesting, I think Megan said Queely, I think she said, which is a waterhole. Queevy. Q U. Just, can you spell that for me, Megan, so that because I don't think I've ever heard of that. Qizi. Okay. I don't know that one, but there is a beautiful bird up on the tree there that we'll have to be able to have a little look at, which is a brown snake eagle. So there's another one that we can kind of use. Let's see, Bird Book. Maybe a brown snake eagle's got a Q for a scientific name. Wouldn't that be quite cool? That would make life easy, but I doubt it. No, just the quellias that have scientific names with a Q for the birds. Oh, this is going to be tough. I think quarantine's probably going to be our best bet. But that is a brown snake eagle, for those that are wondering. You see the big yellow eye, that big robust head, and that barred tail is the only bird of prey that has that combination. And they love sitting on top of trees like this in a very upright position as they use those big eyes to watch for snakes. Oh, there we go. Isn't that cool? Nice, Seb. Well done. Are you going to come over us? You did. It flew directly over us, and that's why Seb couldn't follow it, because, well, he would have probably dislocated his back trying to follow that. Q. So, sorry Megs, you're breaking up very badly. If you can just go again for that quail. A quill! Lynn, a quill. Oh, that is actually a good one, but where, oh where will I find a porcupine quill? That actually is a very clever one, though. I should keep a quill in the car, and then I wouldn't have to worry. You have one on your hat, Seb. Oh no, today's not the day to have left the hat behind. But that's okay. Maybe we'll be lucky and we'll find a quill of our own. What else can we use? Oof. Yeah. Q is not an easy one, that's for sure. It's not a lot of natural things named with the Q. Of course, it would be lovely to have Quarantine the leopard himself. That would actually be the first prize for Q. Still haven't seen Quarantine, and it's a bit sad. I'm hoping that one day I will get to see him, because it will complete my family tree for Karula. That's a crombeck. That's not going to work. There's a little long-billed crombeck just flew over my head. What else, Seb? I'm trying to think, and I just can't think of anything with the Q. So Nancy, you say a bird feather can also be called a quill. That's also true. So we can try and find a bird feather. I wonder if I've got one with me here somewhere. I don't think so. It's been a while since I've picked up a bird feather, or seen a bird feather actually. It's amazing how there's all these things that you kind of just go past every day and you forget about, and maybe this game has been a good thing just to try and remind us of all these other little things that are out here. You know, we get so caught up in looking for the larger animals that you forget about all the bird feathers. And the good news is actually, which bird feather has just reminded me completely, is that we have our bushwalk backpack up and running, so hopefully we'll be out on walk, one of us, either myself or Taylor, tomorrow morning. For those of you that are bushwalk fans, we're going to try and do a bushwalk tomorrow morning. We just need to coincide with tomorrow, because if it's just 2 feeds, it's quite difficult for the bushwalk to be out, because the camera guys really struggle to be able to hold the camera for such long periods of time as we do when we are just 2 feeds. So if Mara's with us, then we can do a bushwalk tomorrow morning, and that will be nice just to go and walk around, and then things like feathers become a lot easier to find. Come on, it would be nice to have a feather here somewhere. And of course, when you're looking for these things, they won't be anywhere to be found. This is how it works. It's only when you actually not looking for them is when they will be out. Right, so it seems like we're not the only ones struggling to find our letter. Miss McCurdy is also still looking to add another letter to her list.
We are, and it's actually turning out to be quite difficult to find something with an O. However, owls, orioles, I'm looking for a black-headed oriole. That might be our best bet. Orange-breasted bush shrike, we could do one of those. 2, I actually think I saw one very briefly this morning. Ostrich, think of anything, I'd like to find an ostrich. Osprey, there's lots of birds that start with O's. I'm trying to think of trees, because I think we might have to use a tree, or even mammals that start with O. There's not very many, are there? This is a tricky one. And my brain is sort of feels like it's reached its maximum capacity now with trying to put all this together. Megan, have you thought of anything else that we could potentially find and talk about with an O? It's a tricky one. O is a tough one. I'm just trying to think. An orchid. Right, turning around. Leopard orchid. No, we're going on to Chitwa. There's one on Chitwa. There we go. I've got it, and I know we're not far from one either. Woohoo! We'll do this one quickly. Sharon, you said oxygen. That's very clever. We could have totally done that. Oxpeckers. There's an impala here. Maybe there's an oxpecker. If we don't come right with an oxpecker, then we're totally going to go to this orchid and have a look at the leopard orchid that are growing in many of the trees. No. Oh, there is an oxpecker too. We'll just have... Oh, she's being such a pain. If you look, it's just on that young ram is facing away from us. Go to the one on the right. Yeah, that one in there. There's an oxpecker right in there. There we go. Red-billed oxpecker. Woohoo! Whew. I thought we were going to be stuck on the O for ages. So there we go. Another bird to add to the list. So that's quite good. Now what are we on? P. This could be an easy one because I could do Phalaenoptera violaceae, the apple leaf. The genus starts with a P. Animals that start with a P. We could do brown-headed parrots. We could do petronias. We could do... No, we can't do predators, Megan, because that's too vague. That's why I don't think that the U for ungulate should count, and the impala with Tristan, because it was the same thing as antelope. But that's my opinion. Of course, we can all play this game however we like. So I know I'm not going to do P for predator, and well then I would be leopard or a lion, and I wouldn't use the L. Did Java say python? That would be a great one to see. Wouldn't you all be so excited if we could find an African rock python? That would be really nice. I'm trying to birds. Not that straight away. Purple-crested Turocco, that would have been a spectacular bird to have done and to have found. Maybe, you never know, we might find a sneaky one in these drainage systems with... Right. We're going to keep searching for things that start with a P, and hopefully we'll find one of them. But let's go back across to Tristan and see if he's had any more luck.
Well, we've decided we'll use quarantine for Q because the rest are going to be just almost impossible to find. So there is a beautiful view of quarantine out in front of me. So that's the quarantine open area in the distance there. So there's Q, which we'll have to try and use. Unfortunately, there's very few Qs otherwise. Right, P. So we're on to the same letter as Taylor. Now we've got to try and see, because the original thing was to meet Taylor and see who got further, but we feel like we've had the harder end of this deal. So let's see if we can get to A before Taylor gets to Z. And she says I can't use ungulates for U because it's too general. Well, Taylor, let's see if you can find a U. And I think the rule must be that we can't use what either one of us has already used. So you can't go and get the same things as the one has already used. So that should make it a little bit more interesting. Now P. Ooh, porcupine, parrot, pelican, pipit, pebble for Mrs. Ozzy Owen. Well, we'll try and find a pebble. Maybe there's a pebble right here. Yes, there's a pebble right here. We can use these as... So, Roshni, you say a pipit. We do have pebbles here, although these I suppose are more stones than pebbles. What defines a stone and a pebble, actually? I'm not quite sure. Seb, do you know? Okay. Yeah, maybe. I'll try find around. Well, for Q now, since Taylor we don't want to do quarantine, I can do quartz. There we go. There is a bit of quartz for all of you. So that is quartz right there. So we found a proper Q that is actually natural and not just a name of an area. So that is our quartz from the road itself. Sorry, am I too close? Sorry, Seb. There we go. So that is a bit of quartz right there. And then pebble. Well, I don't have a pebble here. I know pebbles are supposed to be more rounded, but there's no pebbles that I can see. Maybe we can use this one. Hold on, so let's try. Let's see, what's this? No, that's a bit angular. No. We can't use any of those, unfortunately. That's about the roundest I can find. So that could be our pebble, which I'm sure Taylor is going to contest in every way possible. But there we go. That's our pebble that we are going to use for now. Because we've got a long way to go and we need to catch up with Taylor. We need to use any trick we can to get through this. Right, what's next, Seb? Oh no, another bad one. Oxpecker. We had Oriole earlier. Maybe we should count that one, because oxpecker we can't use. Oriole, owl. What else could we use? Ostrich. Well, there's also chances of that. A Pistithalmus, which is another scorpion. Does monkey orange count? No, I don't suppose it does. Orange-winged Pytilia, which would be a very rare bird to see here. Sandy, you say Opar the mechanic? Well, yes, we could find him, but we'd have to get to the end of drive, and I want to try and get there before... We were trying to see if we can't get to the sort of A before Taylor, so unfortunately I won't be able to go to the workshop just yet to find Opar. If we find Taylor, we can get an Aussie. No, I suppose that's with an A. Hey, we can make it an O, like Ozzy Osbourne. What else? Sure. I'm now seeing all the things we were looking. There's our flaky bark acacias. I've seen terminalias for T. There's all the things that I was thinking about earlier. My light in Africa, you say olifant, which is the Afrikaans word for elephant, and that's an O as well. Very correct. Where is the elephant when we need it, though? Oh, come on. O. What about O? Where else can we get an O? I'm just trying to think what else is spelt with an O out here. When in doubt, consult the bird book for some scientific names. Lots of scientific names with O's. James, you say an orange-breasted bushshrike. Well, that's actually not a bad one because we would definitely get those in this area. I'll have to go ahead more towards the Mulawati for that. But we have lots and lots and lots of scientific names with O. If you have a look here for the birds, so we can maybe try and see if we can't find some of these. That might be quite fun. But this whole section here, from there all the way down, is birds' scientific names with O, as you can see. So I'll have to look through these and just check which one of those. I think that's a Makoa duck. I've already can write that off the list, so that one's not going to go. Jacobinus, that must be Jacobin cuckoo, so we can't go for that. Senegalensis, Senegal lapwing maybe, 242, let's see what that is. No, it's an owl. Interesting. African scops owl. Chances are not great to find that now. There's this little guy down here. Is also with an O, and well, its name is O as well, so we don't really need a scientific name for that. What else, Seb? What else did we have here? 434, that's the smaller birds. Oh, no. African quailfinch, no chance of that here. Orioles, we've already seen an oriole. 364, so oriole's going to be a bit of a problem to find again, I think. 364, Prinias. Oh no, Robert's warbler, that doesn't occur here. This is not going well at all. 216, what's 216? Terns, no, we can write that off, we're not going to find those here. 402, that sounds a bit more promising. Starlings, there we go. Oh. Red-winged starling. Oh, that's not going to find that here, which is this guy over there. So that's the red-winged starling. If we were near Olifant's camp in the Kruger National Park, we'd definitely be able to find that. What's 46? Because 46 has got quite a few of them. No, 46 is, again, seabirds. 48 is seabirds. 226. Oh, guys, this is going to be tough to find O's that we can't use oxpecker or oriole because we haven't found. I don't know if we're going to be able to manage this actually, because none of these birds really occur here. 226, Namakwa dove, cheetah plains would have been nice for that. Okay, let's try find something else, and maybe I can think of something while I'm Mita, who's 8 years old. You say olive pigeon. Well, that would be a nice one to see here too, but I don't think we would see any of those, unfortunately. You know what we can do, Seb? Is the moon still up? No, it's not. Because we could have done orbit, and we could have talked about how the moon orbits the Earth. But that moon is now down, of course. No, there it is. Ossicones on a giraffe would also be a very good one, Sandy, but we don't have any giraffe with us currently. I need to try and find them. I saw tracks for them earlier, but I haven't seen any. But there we go. There's the moon, and we are obviously orbiting around and going around the sun as well. We could have used an orbit around the sun, or the sun orbiting around us. So there's our O. You're not getting it. It's too faint now. Yeah, too faint. Well, the sun. We can get the sun when we, if you want to. So there we go. That's O. Does that count, Megs? No? Yes? Maybe? Can let it slide. We're so far behind. We need any win we can get here. All right. So what's before O? N. Oh, Nyala. Taylor's already done. Nettle would be a good one. Net-winged insect. Narina trogon. Jeez, Seb, you're picking out all the hard ones to find. Sure. N. Why can't I think? Nilotica. What is Nilotica? Why does that sound familiar? I don't know. Acacia nilotica. It's a type of acacia. Well, a knobthorn, although Taylor's used knobthorn, but she used it for K. I can use it for N, which is nigrensis, acacia nigrensis. So that's our knobthorn over here. So Taylor used that for K, but I'm going to use it for N, which is a different one. I think we can, fair enough, use those in different places. So that's our nigrensis. What's M? M. Ooh, one of the centers I can use for monkey pod. So let's see if I can't find a monkey pod quickly. Of course, the centers were everywhere just now, and now there's none of them. What else can I use for M? There's another one that I can use. Why I'm not even thinking of marula, which we can use for M. There is a massive marula right there. Now L, can't use leadwood. What about this one to the left here, Seb? That's a fallen over log. Surely log counts. Megs, does log count? Or do I need to have a natural thing for it? There's a log right there. That's fallen over. It counts. Okay, so there's L done. Now we're starting to catch Taylor. Taylor must be nervous. Oh, there's also a leopard track. We can use that for L2. Where do these come from? That's interesting. But here's a leopard track right next to me, which would be, I would imagine, for little Shongololo. There you go. You've got it there, Seb. Just a little bit up. There we go. So that's little Shongololo's track. It's a nice small female track. So that's hers. These must be from yesterday. There's a few sort of markings on top of it and walkings on top. So they must have been last night's tracks. That's very interesting. I'll have to try and see if we can follow these tracks and see where they go. Okay, what's before L? K. Alright, so Taylor used knobthorn. What have I got to use? I've got to use... kudu would be a good one. So not a bad area for kudu that we're in. What else can I come up with? Kari is a type of tree. Kameelperd, which is a giraffe in Afrikaans. Any other K's you can think of, Seb? Well, so did Taylor use a kudu, Megan? Is that right? Or a knobthorn? Which one did she use? Yeah, it doesn't count. It's the one that you used for the letter. So if she found a kudu, it doesn't matter. I can still find a kudu. Now, where would I find a kudu? Here is a good area to find them along this sort of section. They like these bush willow thickets off quarantine. Mac with a C, you say kingfisher. That's just a good one to call, and also why I'm heading towards Vuyatela Dam, because there is a brown-hooded kingfisher that often sits in a branch close to the dam wall there. So that's why I'm going to head that side for a maybe kingfisher / kudu that might be lurking in that area. Ooh, 40 minutes this till we finish our drive, which means that it's going to be a tight race to see who actually gets what we need.
The east is sort of the Kruger Park.
The Kruger Park to the east. We had an actual view of the Kruger from where we are. We needed to go to Cheetah Plains for that, to be able to actually see the Kruger Park. What else? It's amazing how you forget about these things. Are there any birds with a K other than kingfishers? Now I believe Klipspringer would have been a nice one, yes. Now I believe Taylor has not found another letter, but she's got two rather large, rather playful animals, and she would like to show all of you.
We most certainly do. Have a look at this. There we go, Craig, the ones on the right, if it's possible. These look like two young bulls. If you look very closely on him, You'll see that he's got lots of scratches while his body is out of the water. And he's got his head under the water, and they've been fighting about. It's been quite cool. It doesn't look like anything serious. It just looks like youngsters playing. Now, they obviously have not listened to the big resident bull that's with the pod of hippos. Not this lot. You can't see the rest of the pod now, but keep a close eye on him, because him and his friend are so great. They keep porpoising out of the water and launching at each other and trying to bite one another. It's fantastic. Now, if you are concerned about the condition of that hippo, don't worry. It's so typical for them, of course, to get those cuts all over their bodies. They'll heal relatively well. Now, we are, of course, looking for things with a P, and you may have seen there's a little plover which just disappeared out of screen now. Don't worry. Oh, there we go. You can just see its tail. But you may have seen it when we were watching the hippos. If it pops out again, we'll have another look at it. I'm just really hoping these hippos perform for us. It was so cool. There he comes up again. Going down. Now, they're playing in the shallows, so it's really quite dramatic when they do launch themselves out of the water. You're almost seeing the hippo's entire body come out. It's so great. It's so exciting. But we've been fighting gremlins the entire morning to try and get a spot here. And I wasn't going to give up because it was just too good of a sighting to, of course, to leave. So there we go. There we go. Yeah, just keep a close eye on them. They're going to keep doing it the whole time. They're very playful this morning. No, we're just going to have to be patient here, but they will do it. Now, Mr. Ozzy Bogan, you're wondering how long can a hippo hold its breath for? Well, they say about 6 minutes. Look at this. You see what he's doing now? He's not actually defecating just yet. He's just swishing his tail. Typically, they'll defecate and do that, and it's a way to advertise your territory. Listen to that sound. But these are not dominant bulls yet. They're young, they're just practicing, and that's why they're just off to the side like this. It's so fantastic. This is probably the greatest hippo sighting I've had. Come on, boys. Now, it's basically just like they're all talking to each other and shouting out nasty comments to one another, and eventually one's going to go, right, I've had enough of what you've said, and launch at the other one. Now, we've just got to be prepared for it, of course. This is the type of sighting that you have, though, in Zambia on a regular basis. All the time. Here we go again. I've got a third contender. Now, I'm not sure how old these bulls are, but they're probably in their teenage years, which would explain their very playful behavior. Sort of like a young elephant bull that's about to get kicked out of the herd. Sort of at that stage. They're quite boisterous. They can't mate with the females or anything like that. Ooh. There's the little three-banded plover I was telling you about. There we go. We can move away from P now. You can hear the fish eagles calling too. It's really beautiful down at Chitwa Dam this morning. Come on, hippos, show us what you're made of. What I will do is, if they don't in the next couple of minutes have a mini argument, I'll show you a picture that I managed to snap. Oh wow, that was a great bum photo there. Now, just by opening up their mouths and porpoising out of the water, it's all sort of a scare tactic. They're not really hurting each other. I reckon those big cuts and scratches, well, they don't seem to be too fresh. I reckon that's come from the dominant bull giving one of these youngsters a hiding, as he's probably not behaving and showing too much interest in the cows within the dominant bull's pod, and he doesn't stand for that. He speaks once, and then if you don't listen, then he takes matters into his own hands, and that, of course, is not good for these youngsters. But I suppose they have to learn. It's very important that they learn to reprimand. Let me see if I can get this photo. Try and I hope the sun is going to be good. Let's see if that works, Craig. Can you see it? There we go. Look how cool that is. So this is how they were launching their bodies out of the water. It's obviously not the great, it's just because of the sun and the angle that we've got at the moment. But there we go. How cool is that? Really amazing. Anyways, let's see if we can see anything more from the hippos. They've gone fairly quiet now. Just the lapwings have joined the party, blacksmith lapwings. Right, we'll stay with these hippos for a little bit longer and see if they do start to bounce about again. Maybe we get lucky. I'm going to send you across to Tristan, who's desperately trying to catch up. And oh, hang on, sorry. No, are you going to do it? We've just been waiting for so long. Oh, no. Silly hippopotamus. Well, we'll go to Tristan. I don't know what animal he's got, but apparently it starts with a K.
Well, it's not an animal, but it's a track. So it's a kudu track right there. And we can see it's a kudu track by its big oval shape. Now, kudus have a track that looks very similar to a rugby ball or an American football in that it's quite rounded. And then it has this little point to the end. So that is a kudu track right there. Nice. Okay. It's now J, which is a problem. Seb and I have been racking our brains for J because we can't use jackleberry, which is what Taylor used. So now we need to think of something else. And all the J's that I can think of are summer orientated. So Jacobin cuckoo, yellow justicia, which is a type of plant. What else did I think of? I thought of Journey of Giraffe, but again, no giraffe around. What else is there? Jacket plum. Might be able to find a jacket plum somewhere here. That would be quite good to find. What else? Oh, you know what we can see? Haha. This is a little bit of a cheat, but we'll use it anyway because, well, we can. So Seb, if you can just zoom up onto the left here, and I'll show you now what our J is going to be. So over there on our left hand side is Yuri's house. So there's our J. So J for Yuri, who is the owner of Djuma. That's his house up there. Thank you, Yuri, for your contribution to our animal, well, our Djuma alphabet challenge. So there's Yuri's house. Thank you very much. We will take that. All right, let's see what else we can find. Impala. No, I think Taylor used I for Impala. Megan? Oh, okay, so we can't use Impala. That makes things a little bit more different. Impala lily would be quite nice. What else? Indigo bird. Insect is a very good one, Alice, except that for the first time ever I can't find an insect inside Wendy. Normally there's things crawling around all over the place here, but no insect today, so I will try and find another one quickly. But thank you, Alice, for your contribution. It's a team effort out here, especially when it's a competition, so we will try and quickly find an I. Maybe I can find something at the water here. Let's see. Maybe the hippos apparently are still playing for Taylor, so let's go across to her while I plan and find an eye that we can use and watch our impalas have a little drink.
Well, yes, I suppose they are playing with us. We're just sitting very patiently because they keep getting all riled up. And maybe we're going to get lucky. Here we go, the one on the right looks like it's going to open its mouth. It's mouthing at the water. Is somebody going to come over and challenge you? There's another one opening its mouth. You can see they're not big boys just yet. They're still very young. Not as tiny as the calves, though, that we often see splashing about in the water. They're slightly old. I'm trying to estimate what their age would be. Maybe about 5 years old or so, maybe between 5 and 8 years old, somewhere around there. There's opening his mouth again. It's very kind of you. Now look this way, please. So gracious. I love the way that they are exposing most of their body for us today. It's not always that we get to see more than just the nostrils, ears, and eyes of a hippo. Will they start playing about again, though? I'm not sure. There are those. Can we quickly have a look at this bird that's just right in front of us in this tree? Cutthroat finches. There's a new bird for me. Oh, I think it is. There's one just sitting No, there's one that's looking at us. Sorry, Craig, can you go down a bit? I'm trying to figure out where it is. Somewhere there? Yes, there we go. That bird right there. That's so cool. I've never seen a cutthroat finch before. That's a brand new bird. Wow, I know Ali was seeing them the other day around Chitwa Dam. So there we go, another one to add to my list. How beautiful are they? My goodness, the pictures in the bird books really don't do them any justice at all. You can very clearly see where they get their name from though. What a beautiful creature. Wow, I did not think that I was going to see a cutthroat finch first thing this morning, is even though we're watching the hippos, but our hippo friends have now gone underwater. Craig, we got to look for animals with a Q now. What did Tristan do for his Q? Has he got to Q yet? Yes, he has. I can't remember. If there was a tree called the crocodile bark tree, and then we could have done. I've forgotten what the genus of a crocodile bark is, but I'm pretty sure the species part is Quilonensis or something along those lines. I've probably butchered it. Q, quail. They're difficult to put on camera. Well, any at the time. I can't really think what else starts with a Q. Oh well, let's take a closer look at these hippo. Maybe we're going to get lucky again. So Tristan was clever, used a quartz stone. Oh, there we go, fantastic. Perhaps, where's my porcupine quill? That should be in here. I can use quill. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Done. I knew that I was going to need this quill one day and it was going to save me, and that it has. So this counts. This definitely counts, and it comes from an animal too. Wonderful. Now, hippopotamus, if I wave my magic quill, as they do, will you do something wonderful for us? Please just show everybody how powerful you are and how... that's one thing about hippos, I must say, is that you look at a hippo and you don't think that they could really run very quickly. That's, of course, the biggest question we get is how fast can hippos run, or can hippos move quickly? Yes, they can, not just in the water, but out on land too. But they're very delicate and graceful in the water. The way that they porpoise about is amazing. But we're going to be very patient. We've practiced this patience thing quite a bit now. So we'll sit with these hippos and hopefully they'll sort of thrust out of the water. Tristan, however, has found something that starts with an I, and it's not an impala.
Indeed, so we've got our hardy-dar ibis that are ever present at Gari Dam, and Taylor, you are in trouble because while I've been sitting here I've been coming up with all kinds of letters, and so we're going to catch up now very quickly. But there's our hardy-dar ibis busy filtering through the water, trying to find varying food items. They'll be sticking that long beak down into the mud and grabbing what they need, and they are actually sort of quite pretty birds. When the sun hits them, they get a little bit of an iridescent sheen on the wings. They're quite drab otherwise, but they do have that little bit of iridescent sheen if the sun is right. Alright, so that is our I. What comes before I? H. H, we can go just back to the impalas because there's a set of horns on both of those boys over there. So that's our H done. So horns of the boy impalas that are having a bit of a play fight. Oh, there we go. Right, what's after H? G. G, Gari Dam. There we go. That's the whole of Gari Dam. So that's sorted as well. We don't have to worry about that too much. And in fact, that was quite easy. If we have as well, Seb, we do right here. On our right hand side we have a flaky bark acacia, which is just this one over here. So exuvialis, acacia exuvialis, and we know that the acacia name has changed. I always forget what the new name is for it, but it's exuvialis, and that is the flaky bark that is busy growing there. You can actually see a bit of the bark is starting to flake off a little bit. What are we on now? E. Ooh, this one might be a bit cheeky, but we'll use it anyway. On the impalas, they have ears, so we'll use those. And well, I have ears too, and so does Seb, so we can use any one of us three. So if Taylor won't accept impalas, well, I've got ears too. But there's a nice set of ears. There we go, natural ears. That impala, or an impala U. There we go, EWE. There's another way that we can look at it. So that's that sorted. What's next? D. Ooh, D, I haven't thought of that far yet. I didn't think we'd get this far. Drongo we could use, or Taylor used a dove, so we can't use that. Let's see, D. Drainage line. There we go. D for dung. Well, we could use dung, but, well, because we always use the word drainage line, there is our drainage line over there. That is the drainage section that goes off Gari Dam. So that's D for drainage line. And C. Sure, can we finish this while we sit here, Seb? Do you reckon we can? I think we can. C. What can I use for C? Trying to scratch around here and just see. Yeah, trying to see for C. What else have I got? What did Taylor use for C? I can't remember. She used cluster leaf. That's what she used. No, so no C. Trying to think. But I believe while we try and find C, and let's see if we can actually finish this at Gari Dam, and while we sit here and work it all out, I believe Taylor's hippos are play fighting again, so let's quickly jump across to her. C.
I'm also not playing the alphabet game anymore, I've decided. I'm out. Tristan, you can have the title. I've pulled out of the competition. But yes, we're sitting with our hippos now, and they're all splashing about. So we've got those three on the right, which were the ones we were watching in the beginning, but the hippos on the left, which is where the main pod is, that's where all the little ones are, they've also now started splashing about. So I wonder if the big bull is not impressed by those youngsters, because there we go, it's starting to creep closer and closer. Or maybe that one is getting a bit frisky and he's trying to mate with one of the females. That could also be a possibility, but we'll watch. But he looks like the big bull. He looks much bigger. There's quite a few hippos, yes. Let's see what's going to happen now. I don't know where to look because there's splashing coming from all angles. So hippos will mate in the water. They're getting very excited now. You can hear them all starting to call. Is he going to roll again? It looks like it. We just need to catch them once. They're now sneaky. They keep playing underneath the water, and all we can see are the ripples. And we see the bursts of bubbles pushing through the surface of the water. Oh, come on, hippos. We're being so patient here. You keep just teasing us. But it's very exciting. It's all happening. And normally, this time of the day when we see hippos, we always say that, of course, they're getting ready to have a sleep because they've been very busy for most of the evening. They've been out feeding. You know, it's not an easy job walking the far distances that hippos can travel in one night and then to come back to the watering hole. But it seems as though there's obviously something special today. There's many disputes, actually, out here. There's also one happening right down below our feet between a blacksmith lapwing and a three-banded plover. It's quite funny. The three-banded plover is just on the left, but look how the blacksmith lapwing consistently, it's about the third or fourth time now, see, putting its head down, it's chasing the three-banded plover away. So that was the hippos making the noise. That noise did not come from the birds that we were looking at. Now, of course, they've gone all quiet again. It's really, really, really nice out here. I could sit at this dam for the entire day, especially with all the sounds that are coming from the bush. We've got Egyptian geese, we've got the red-billed buffalo weavers chirping about, there's some doves. Every now and then you hear the blacksmith lapwing telling everybody how unhappy it is with the different birds that keep moving into its territory. Look at that, there's an Egyptian goose about to float past a hippo. That's quite cool. I think they must be nesting there because there's another Egyptian goose that was just on top of that weaver's nest, or just below the weaver's nest. Just casually going about its day. There we go. And if you go up a little bit higher, Craig, you'll actually see the other Egyptian goose in the tree. Let's see what it's doing. Kelly, you say that it sounds like the hippos are laughing at the birds. I suppose that is true. Oh, have we got more action, Craig? No, I'm starting to give up on these hippos now. I don't think we're going to win, unfortunately. They're not playing ball. Oh, there's another hippo on the right, the one below the Egyptian goose. That's got its mouth open quite wide. No, just missed it. Okay, I think we're going to head away from this dam now. But before I do, I'll quickly answer this question from Roshni, and that is, do hippos make different sounds for various occasions? Most certainly. The typical sound that we hear is, of course, that snorting, the laughing sound, and that normally is to declare territories. However, most of a hippo's communication is actually done below the surface of the water. So we only hear one or two sounds, and that's really it. That's it. Even that snorting, when they come up to the surface of the water and expel the air from their nostrils, that is also a type of intimidation noise. Other than that, other types of communication, I couldn't really tell you what they mean, just because I have never heard them before. But I think let's head on from this dam. Unfortunately, the hippos are not playing ball. But we're going to start making our way back towards Djuma now. We're going to send you across to Tristan, who is at Vuyatela Dam.
We are at Vuyatela Dam, and Taylor, well, we're just going to close out our alphabet quickly just so that we can finish. And I'm sorry that we used Yuri's house, but, well, you used Jackalberry and the African sun for A, so we're going to just quickly knock this out. There's a combretum, or bush willow, so we'll use combretum for that one. It's the species that encompasses, well, all of the bush willows fall under the combretum species. And then for B, we've got our blacksmith lapwing, which is sitting on the mud over there. So I don't know if you can see it, just to the left there. There's our blacksmith lapwing, which is taking it very easy and is enjoying Gari Dam as always. They're always around here, and the reason they're called a blacksmith lapwing, for those of you that are new viewers, is that when they call, it sounds like a blacksmith hitting against an anvil, and so that's where their name has come from. And then they've got those beautiful kind of white and black and greys, and then a very bright red eye, which is difficult to see unless it's quite sunny. So that's B. And then last but not least, A, we have algae. So there is a type of algae growing on the edge of Gari Dam. So that's the grass. You can go down a little bit towards the water edge, and there you go. You can see a bit of that green algae just on the edge of the water there. And there we go, alphabet done. Backwards as well, Seb. So there's only one that we didn't do that wasn't actually natural, just Yuri's house. Otherwise all the rest were natural. I suppose you was a bit of a cheeky one, and I probably could get a better one than you as well. But otherwise I think we've done quite well. What do you think, Seb?
What did we do for you again?
Ungulates, which was a bit of a cheat. But high five, Seb, well done.
Yeah, for sure.
All good. Okay, well, we're going to now carry on and see if we can do some actual real things and try and find some animals. But that was fun anyway. Seb and I were just laughing about how it's amazing how we kind of get into this situation where we forget things, and especially when you add a little bit of a kind of pressure against somebody else, how you don't even think very clearly. I'm sure during the course of today I'll think of many things with you and many things with Jay, but at this stage, well, that's all we could think of. But hopefully you guys all had fun with us. It was definitely lots of input from all of you too, which helped. So thank you for all of you that participated in our game. And for those of you that are new viewers, I promise we don't do this all the time. We do actually concentrate on animals for vast majorities of our drives. And so this morning has just been, because it's been a little bit quiet, that we thought we'd have a bit of fun. So Sammy Jane, you say you think we did a great job. Well, it wasn't just me, it was all of you and Seb. I had lots of help from everybody, and it wouldn't have been easy to finish this without all of you. You guys gave us lots of suggestions, and Seb was certainly eagle-eyed in spotting things, so it was a team effort. And we can't forget that Taylor did a sterling job as well, and she got very far until the hippos interrupted the game. So it was a very, very fun exercise from our side, and I hope, like I say, that you all enjoyed it just as much as we did. But I definitely think in summer it would actually be a far better game to play, because in summer there's quite a lot more around and it would be a lot quicker and people would have to be on point to try and sort of round it out, and we'd have to set very strict guidelines before we started, maybe for the summer one, in that we can't use anything unnatural like Yuri's house. But it will be interesting in summer who could actually get it done, and we'll probably try, let's see if we can rope in all the Kenyan crew as well, because it'll be a little bit interesting if they can find the alphabet in Kenya. Maybe this afternoon, if they join us, we'll rope them in to a challenge at some point, whether they can complete the alphabet from the Mara. Is that bird going to stop? Let's hope it does. I thought I just saw a purple roller and I'm hoping it's going to land. Did it land? Did it? It did, but it's completely against the sun. I'm going to try to see if I can't find it quickly. There. Is it a purple roller or is it a lilac-breasted roller? It looks like a lilac-breasted roller. It's going to be difficult with the sun. I'm going to try and just position Seb that we can see a little bit better. Could be just a lilac-breasted roller. You see it there, Seb, at the bottom of the knobthorn. Now, what are you? Are you a purple roller or a lilac-breasted roller? It's very difficult because of the fact that it's so lit by the sun behind it. Maybe if we can make it a little bit brighter. I know we'll blow the sky out, but
it's the brightest I can go on.
It's at the brightest we can go.
Yeah, I'll try.
I think it's a lilac-breasted roller though, just judging by the... maybe not.
Yes, I'm gonna have to blow out the sky. Sorry guys.
So the sky is going to be completely white. Yes, lilac-breasted roller, I think. What is it? Oh, difficult to say, but I think it's a lilac-breasted roller. Can't see very nicely from here, but lilac-breasted roller is not exactly what I was looking for. I was hoping that it was going to be a purple roller, but worth a try anyway. Thanks, Seb. Sorry, that wasn't very easy on me. I do apologize. There we go. So it's a little bit difficult when you're kind of looking into backlight like that, and our monitors are quite small, so it's tough sometimes to actually see what's going on. Right, we're going to slowly start heading back to Happiness's breakfast and start heading that way. Not that we've got very far to go. We'll go around Gallego Pan and see if there's not any sign of anything there. And while we do that, I believe Miss Taylor Jane McCurdy is on her way back as well. And don't worry, Taylor, it's okay if you lost. We're just going to make you dance around like a hooligan this afternoon in this sunset safari.
That's literally not ever going to happen, Tristan, because you didn't play the game properly. Ears, drainage line, those don't count. Gowrie Dam, those don't count. Definitely need a rule book. Ungulate, it's too vague. Anyways, so I don't think I lost. I think my list was much better. I had cool things on it, not made up things. We'll play it again another time when there are some rules in place. I am looking for what bird I want to see. I'd like to see a golden-breasted bunting before we go home, so we're going to try and find one of those now. They're such lovely birds, and I was so chuffed that we managed to see a cutthroat finch. Like I said, there was a new bird for me. I still have yet to actually count how many birds I have. You know what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take... I've lost my bird book. I was showing Craig something earlier. What were we talking about? Red Bull buffalo weavers and Retz's helmet shrike. So I don't know where I put my bird book now, but I'll try and find it. But I shall take it in with me and I'll do it at breakfast. Let's see if we can find that bunting, or maybe even a cinnamon-breasted bunting. That would be quite nice too. Maybe some warthogs. This is a good spot for warthogs. We often see them around here. Be a nice way to, of course, end the drive. Although I didn't get to see my elephants today. Didn't have one elephant on the safari. We're going to have to try a little bit harder for some cats and for some elephants again this afternoon. Maybe they come back. These are all the leopard tracks that Herbie was trying to track down. My goodness, I would just want to know, I would love to be able to tell how much time we missed the certain animals as they crossed off the traverse. You know, should I have taken a right when I went left? Would that have meant that I would have found the animal? You know, who knows? But nature's so exciting. Buffalo. Oh, the day that we see the big herd of buffalo, I will do cartwheels and somersaults for you. I promise you, the first big herd that we see, if I find it, I shall get out the car and do all sorts of flick-flacks for you. What else? Any birds, Craig? Have you seen anything? Any last-minute bird requests? Need to give Craig a bit of time to think, of course. A ground hornbill. That'd be spectacular if we could see a southern ground hornbill. I didn't hear them calling this morning. Did you, Craig? No, I didn't. And we've actually been lucky. The last couple of mornings we've been hearing that beautiful sound, but not today. Just seeing who we're going to find here. The only animals that seem to be out and about today. Oh, there's the warthog. Yay! Well, I'm so excited because I said that I wouldn't mind seeing a warthog, and here we have a warthog in the golden grass. Now, Roshni, you've said that seeing as though we're starting bushwalk from tomorrow, what could we expect to find in winter on a bushwalk? Well, plants are going to be quite difficult, except there are a couple of them at the moment that are just starting to flower. So maybe we'll try and get some knobthorn flowers to have a look at. And I don't really know what else. There won't be too many insects around. Maybe a couple of spiders here and there. We'll probably have a look closer inspection of the tropical tent web spiders. But what is going to be very valuable about the bushwalk is tracking. Because obviously when you're in the car, and we've discussed this quite a few times, it's very, very difficult to track when you're in a car. You really need to get out on foot, have a closer look at the ground, because you miss things as you're driving around. Doesn't matter how slowly you drive, you'll still miss those tracks. So that's a bit tricky. So I think we might have a chance of finding more cats. Hopefully that's going to improve, especially those ones that disappear in the thick blocks that we can't even drive into. But on foot, oh my goodness, it's going to be great. And this is my favorite time of the year to walk as well. Firstly, because I can walk in shorts and not get too much grass on my legs, because I break out in a rash. I'm a little allergic to some of the grass species out here. Also, there shouldn't be too many ticks because of the lack of rain and also with the temperature. So there's quite a few positives for us. There's some waterbuck over here we will have a look at. Hi guys. Well, we've cut his horns off, but we can look at his beautiful face through the tree. Couple of young males around here. We've seen lots of bachelor herds of the antelope species today, which is nice. Roshni, I'm just trying to think what else we're going to have a look at. I don't know, we're going to do some really nice tracking segments, I suspect. Well, at least if I do the bushwalk tomorrow morning, I think that's what we might try and focus on. And I don't know, anything really. We'll just have to go and see what it's about. I haven't been out on a walk for such a long time. I don't really know what's lurking upon these animal pathways, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to send you back across to Tristan, though, and he's found something with feathers.
I have indeed. So earlier we said purple roller, and it was a lilac-breasted roller, and well, we thought we'd actually show you what a purple roller looks like. So there's our purple roller sitting on top of a marula tree quite far away. It was a bit closer and then it flew. Now the reason I know it's a purple roller, one is because I saw it a little bit closer, but two, already you can see it's got a much duller sort of head area. It doesn't have that turquoise head that you see with the lilac-breasted roller. It also doesn't have those tail streamers that you see on the lilac-breasted roller, and then it's got a white speckled throat. So it's difficult to see because it's back to us now, but I'll show you in the book what I'm talking about. It's also a lot more dull in coloration than what the lilac-breasted roller is. So if we have a look in the book here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here's our lilac-breasted roller in the top area of the book. So these guys are quite sort of easy to recognize generally when the light is good. Nice big bright colors. They've got that turquoise head, and then they've got this sort of lilac breast and then blue on the wings and not too much brown, as you see there. They also have those tail streamers, which I was talking about. So if you go down, you'll see they've got these little streamers here. That is lilac-breasted roller. Now the purple roller is different. It has a squared off tail. It doesn't have those little streamers coming down. So there's the purple roller at the bottom. You see it's got a squared off tail, also much more brown on the wings, and then that striped chest or heavy streaked chest that you see there. So that's how we know purple roller. And you find the purple rollers are actually quite prominent in the winter months. You see them a lot because they sort of aren't being pushed around by the European rollers that arrive in our summer, which is these guys over here. So these guys arrive in the summer months, and they pretty much dominate everybody. They're much bigger than both the purple and the lilac-breasted roller, and so they tend to take over what goes on. But there we go. Beautiful family, isn't it? They're all very, very pretty. And luckily I've been fortunate enough to see every single one of this family. So the racket-tailed and the broad-billed, I've seen both of those, and they're all as equally beautiful. Good. That was a nice way to sort of close that out, that's for sure. Now hopefully some of you that are new to Safari Live, that will be a new bird for you and to add to your list. Always nice when you have lists, so if you are new and you are watching for the first time, or it's one of the first drives that you have watched, just maybe think about starting a list. It is quite fun. As we go along, we look at varying birds and you can add to your list as we go. I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have started a Mara list, and I'd be interested to know from all of our regular viewers who have got bird lists this side, what the Mara lists are looking like, and whether or not there's been a lot more birds, or what you think is in terms of the bird life there versus the bird life here. It would be quite interesting. I haven't really heard too much, and I haven't spoken to Brent in a while, who's obviously big on his birds, but I would like to chat to him and see how he finds the birding there. There are a lot of birds that we don't see there, but it would be interesting to know how many sort of bird species in comparison to what we see here at Djuma, whether there is a more sort of species count there, or if there is less species because it's a more sort of open grassland and there's not as many environmental factors or ecosystems that different birds can survive in. Here we get lucky because we have grassland as well as drainage sections and varying sort of types of habitat for lots of different birds. Now Meg, sorry I didn't catch the name. If you can just give me the name again, please. Mrs. Zero, you have 57 birds on your list now with that purple roller, which is fantastic news. We'll have to try and push a little bit harder and get you up towards 100, and you'll find that your list will grow very quickly in the summer months, Mrs. Zero. So once you start watching from around November, that's when all our summer migrants arrive, and then we really start racking up the bird list, and it will really go up quite quickly. I know some of you are over 200. So Roshni, you say your Sabi Sands list, should I say, is 105, and that's not bad at all. I would like to know actually who's got the highest list. It would be interesting to work out who's actually got the most. I know a lot of you are on 220 around that area, so I would love to know who's actually got the most. Now there's another bird in front of us that I've spotted that many of you should have on your list, or all of you should have on your list if you've been watching today, and she is busy hiding out in a metal tin can with rubber tires, and that is sitting in front of us. Look at her. She's just watching around in her natural habitat, looking for animals. This is what this bird does, is it sits in its vehicle and it looks around for varying types of other animals that it can then use to entertain itself and many others. There's also a Batman on the back there. You can see, look at Batman. He's rocking the casual look this morning. This afternoon in the afternoons, he likes to get into his cape and in his black coat, but in the mornings, sometimes he goes for the casual look, which is the t-shirt and black cap. So that's how Batman rolls. And I believe they're looking at something that is actually quite serious, so let's rather go across to them than me joking around.
Well, we are looking at something. We're looking at this marula tree, but we're not actually looking at the marula tree. We're looking at how short the grass is around the marula tree. Now, that could be from a number of different things. Maybe there were animals just feeding underneath it during the shade, or perhaps because it is a female marula tree and the animals have trodden all that grass nice and flat when there was once fruit. There's no fruit at the moment. Anyways, it's been a fantastic morning out here in the bush again. I hope you've enjoyed this sunrise safari with, well, myself and Tristan and James right at the beginning in the hot air balloon. Very exciting stuff. But please remember to stay tuned and join us for the sunset safari this afternoon.